Ever wondered how a man can influence the course of history so drastically? Let's turn back the clock to 1889 in the quaint town of Braunau am Inn, Austria. Here, a young boy named Adolf Hitler was born into an ordinary family. As a child, he harbored dreams of becoming an artist, a dream that was dashed when he was rejected by Vienna's prestigious Academy of Fine Arts. Little did the world know, this aspiring artist was destined to become something far more infamous. But how did this aspiring artist turn into the dictator we all know today? The seeds of dictatorship were sown during the tumultuous times of the First World War. Adolf Hitler, a decorated soldier, found himself amidst the chaos and destruction of the battlefield. He was deeply influenced by the camaraderie and the harsh realities of war, which fueled his nationalistic fervor. After the war, Germany was plunged into a state of despair and humiliation brought about by the Treaty of Versailles. Hitler shared in this national resentment. He saw the treaty as a betrayal to the German people, sparking his bitter antagonism towards the Weimar Republic and the powers of the Allied forces. During these turbulent times, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or the Nazi Party, was taking shape. Hitler, with his compelling speeches and charismatic leadership, rose swiftly through its ranks. He harnessed the public's discontent, promising a stronger, more prosperous Germany. And thus, the stage was set for the rise of the Führer. From a disgruntled soldier to the Chancellor of Germany, Hitler's ascendancy was swift and ruthless. In the ashes of a depressed post-war Germany, Hitler found fertile ground to sow the seeds of his radical ideology. His charismatic speeches and promises of a renewed Germany resonated with the masses, and soon, the Nazi Party gained significant political weight. The Reichstag fire in 1933 marked a turning point in Hitler's rise. The incident, a suspected arson attack on the German parliament, was used by Hitler to consolidate his power. He convinced President Hindenburg to sign the Enabling Act, effectively suspending civil liberties and giving Hitler dictatorial powers. The Night of the Long Knives, a bloody purge within his own party, and the death of President Hindenburg in 1934 further cemented Hitler's hold on power. With no one left to challenge him, Hitler assumed the title of Führer, or leader of Germany. Hitler, now with absolute power, was ready to implement his vision for Germany. Hitler's reign marked one of the darkest periods in human history. The onset of World War II was triggered by Hitler's unprovoked invasion of Poland in September of 1939. This was a blatant demonstration of Hitler's aggressive expansionist ideology, yet the horror was only just beginning. Under Hitler's command, the Nazi regime orchestrated the Holocaust, a systematic state-sponsored genocide that resulted in the murder of 6 million Jews. This appalling event stands as one of the most horrific crimes against humanity. The war raged on, with major battles and turning points that shaped the course of history. The Nazis' blitzkrieg tactics initially led to rapid victories, but the tide began to turn following the failed invasion of the Soviet Union. The brutal winter and fierce Soviet resistance led to a catastrophic defeat for Hitler's forces. Further decisive moments unfolded with the Allied invasion of Normandy, commonly known as D-Day, in June of 1944. This marked a significant turning point, beginning the end of Hitler's dominion over Europe. The final blow to the Nazi regime came with the Battle of Berlin in 1945, where the Allies claimed victory and Hitler's reign of terror was finally brought to an end. But as the tide of war turned, so did Hitler's fate. The fall of the Third Reich was as dramatic as its rise. In the final days, as Allied forces closed in, Hitler retreated to a bunker under the Reich Chancellery in Berlin. Here, in this fortified tomb, he would spend his last days. Amidst the chaos, in a desperate attempt to control his narrative, Hitler married his longtime mistress, Eva Braun. Their wedded bliss, however, was short-lived. Within 48 hours, they both committed suicide, leaving behind a world scarred by their actions. The end of Hitler's life marked the conclusion of the Second World War. But the repercussions of his reign were far from over. Countries lay in ruins, millions had perished, and the world had witnessed the depths of human cruelty. This was the bitter legacy of Adolf Hitler. Though Hitler's life ended in that bunker, the impact of his actions continues to echo through history.